This is the pot calling kettle black a little bit, though, because we're talking about women being selfish. Dudes can't even stand the thought of another snake in their garden. They can't even stand the thought of it. So even if a woman wanted to have the side dude or whatever, men ain't ready for the conversation either.
But guess what, though? We'll give you our food when we don't really want to because we asked you if you want something to eat, but because you're selfish anyway and self-centered, even though we were thoughtful in the
We ain't
beginning,
talking
we'll
about
still
the
give you
food.
some of our food,
No,
right?
we ain't talking
We'll
about the
still,
food.
no, what I'm saying is there are a bunch of other areas we're expected to give, and do, okay? What are you talking about? So
you
one
think
area
one
that we don't
area-
want to share, hell yeah, we don't want to share. The amount of investment I had to put into your, matter of fact, one of the other stories in the chat was I think men spent on average like $15,000 a year or something like that, dating and paying for the expenses and partially the bills of their significant others, right? So what are we talking about? There's no way that we're selfish. What's the number for the amount of money women spend on us, or the amount of time, right? Or the amount of pucker, or the amount of, come on, man, what are we talking about here?
They rarely do studies on women. The focus tend to be always on
No.
men.
They do the studies. The studies have been done, and one just came out, and the study said women get married to save money, and men stay single to save money. Because the two things don't usually work out the other way. If a man gets married, he can stop trying to save as much money as he was saving when he was single. Unless she's giving her money up, which we know nowadays in these new relationships, that's not really a take. There's no 50-50.
Didn't y'all say y'all the providers and the protectors? So then fucking provide.
Yeah, we didn't say that.
Y'all
Listen.
Hey, society says that men are the providers and the protectors, so provide. Why are you complaining about providing when y'all designated this role for yourself?
Society said barefoot and pregnant, but y'all don't be talking along with that no more.
But to this day, it still say provide and protect, and with the key part being on the provision, the providing. And so I don't see a problem with the study. You're supposed to provide and protect, especially if she's your significant other, preferably marriage. However, if she's just y'all just dating, that's a lot.
Like, because where's the ROI? Right? Like the expectation for men to go out there and spend their hard-earned money to court. I'm not mad at that, right? Because I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. It's a beautiful moment. Like when you're in that courting phase, man, it's magical, especially y'all both vibing. So I get that, right? And anybody would be likely to want to pay for that. But what I'm saying is, over the course of time, it's a bad investment on your ROI. Like, what are you getting for that expenditure? And that's just another area that men have to spend money that women don't. So when y'all talk about equality, for example, right? Let's say y'all both making the same money at the same job. Well, guess what? Society says, hey, you have other responsibilities that maybe she doesn't have outside of kids, right? I'm talking about two adults without kids. So yes, she can go out there and have her rent in her apartment or whatever and live her life. But when she wants to go outside, it's likely that she may not have to pay for going outside, at least when she's in the company of a man who's trying to court her. Whereas that man who's wooking Panub, maybe in all the wrong paces, is going to have to come out the pocket. So if she's making 60, he got to make at least 75 in order to even be able to afford dating her, right? And I think these statistics are important because, like, if women cared about men, maybe they have a little bit more empathy, right? Maybe she'd go into her purse a little bit more. Maybe she'd say, you know what, because we are supposed to make the same amount of money, at least 1 out of 3 or 4 dates, I'll put some money up so that he doesn't always have to pay all the time to make it seem like that's the only way that he can show me he's a provider and protector, right? You know what I mean? Women make it seem like, oh, you know what, baby, spend your money. I'm going to go ahead and save mine over here. You know what, ladies? I got y'all, right? For every date you don't pay, put $10 to the side. Right? And then one day, be like, hey, you know, for the 50 days, I got $500. You know what I'm saying? Here you go, babe. You know what I mean? Do some shit like that to let me know in the dating phase that even though you expect me to spend all of my money and you're secretly going to be keeping your own money, rainy day fund, etc., that at least you thought enough about me to put a little something to the side so that I know that could be a us. I mean, I feel like that's great advice. Right?
Or side dudes. Hey, look, this is a way that side dudes can come into the conversation. Go ahead and get you multiple men to date. And then that way they can spread the wealth. And that way it won't be one guy putting $15,000 on whatever.
Okay,
He can spread the wealth. He can share it.
I'm glad you brought it back to the side dude, because what you're pointing out now is just the obvious point here. First off, Nick said, and I agree, you can't have a side dude if you don't have a main dude. Okay, that's first. So if you got 5 dudes, you don't have you just got 5 dudes, man. You don't have no side dude.
That's called dating. Called dating.
Well, you're fucking more than one of them.
Right.
But we'll go ahead.
It's called
I'm
being
gonna
a fuck
give you at
girl.
least one.
Is there a fuck girl? Is fuck girl a thing? Can fuck girl be a thing? Can we normalize fuck girls? If she got 5 dudes she dating at one time, can she be a fuck girl?
Only if she's having sex with all of them.
No, only if she's leading them on to think it could be more, right?
Think they might
that's
get
how
some.
women define
That's right.
Fuck boy.
The other point that was brought up is men have to invest heavily when dating, courting, and when we finally lock it in. So yes, men can be a little extra sensitive. No, somebody is dipping in on this who ain't chipped in on this.
Yes, that's a fact.
See that?
That's a
See
fact.
that S&M?
Yeah.
See that?
And
Mm.
listen, I'll say this. I'll say this too on
That's why you
behalf
should put a
of
ring on it.
the Side Niggas Association. Long, long time ago, I was recruited by some special ops people from the Side Niggas Infantry, right? Like these were a group of elite niggas whose main job was to ensure that women who were married stay married. Right, because we understood that it was important for women to stay married to a relationship. That ass. It was like our way of doing something, to give back to the Black community. It's like if the Black Panthers had like a version today where it's like, hey, how can we? Because we know women do cheat. Let's be honest, we do know that. And so my job at the time, my mission was to help her stay married. So it was just about dropping off some good peen, and really it was about listening. Right, the key skill of any side dude really is all about being attentive, being able to listen, right, and comfort for the most part, right? And so, you kind of hone those skills. But it's not about taking her away from her husband. Like we're not trying to, take her away from her family. Because again, we understand the importance of Black family. See, that's the problem when it's women who are side pieces because they want to be home wreckers, right? You rarely hear home wreckers applied to side dudes. You know why? Because side dudes know their position. Right, we're not trying to break up the home. No, sis, do not leave your husband because really we may not even have what you need over here fully, but all we have is this peen, and that seems to be good enough. So let's just keep it where it works out for the both of us, right? And that's, I think, side brothers do not get enough credit, right? Especially when we talk about this whole thing about keeping relationships going, because for the right woman, that side dude is keeping her engaged, is providing a certain level of relief. And so for my brothers out there who know they're not dropping off some good dick, haven't dropped off some good dick in a while, shorty comes home and she's feeling really good about herself, it wasn't just a good day at the job.
Wait, is this a confession episode?
Sounds like his
Hey,
DMs are gonna
because
blow up.
listen, I'm not gonna hold you, dead ass, dead ass. I'm telling you the truth when I tell my glasses, right? Just knowing that I was doing that for that family just meant a lot to me. Even when I was a juvenile, like a young person, just out here wilding, I still had that sense of family. And so when I was dropping off that peanut, I thought to myself, she wasn't getting it, and she deserved it. She worked really hard. I feel like side niggas don't get enough appreciation in this conversation. I know we always think about it in the lens of like side chicks or whatever, but honestly, those brothers do a valiant job. I know it's hard for me to give them credit, but listen, we get it. You're welcome.
Not a shout out to all the community D in the world. You got community pools.
Whoa, don't
Now
do
you
that,
got community
Jay.
D.
Just because a brother's a side dude doesn't mean he's community D, my brother. Don't do
Are
that.
you sure? Because
I'm
that
dead
D is
ass.
for the community. Are you
No, no, no,
sure?
no,
It
no.
seems like
No,
community D by definition.
I can see. You see, I can see you've never really been like that. No one, that guy didn't come to you, right? So you were not recruited. Okay, got
Okay,
it.
no, they didn't come to me. They did not come to me. I was not the side ninja. I have not never.
Because there's a certain level of empathy as a side dude that you have to have. Like you have to understand where she's coming from, right? Beyond yourself and beyond one's ego, right? And so, like when you understand
Bigger
where
view.
women's coming from, no, because like for example, right? You might meet one woman, maybe you work with her, right? You weren't thinking about becoming a side dude. I mean, I wasn't, right? Until I got recruited. But like, okay, cool, right? And then all of a sudden, y'all kicking it, y'all vibing, you're hearing her stories, you're having empathy for her. You know what I mean? You see how wonderful she is. You feel me? And you're like, damn, he treating you like that for real. And you can really mean it, bro. And so there are some where you learn how to pull back the emotion. But my point is that you don't got to be community dick to be a side dude. You just so happen, just like a woman who might be a side piece. It doesn't mean she was a hoe. It doesn't mean that she was fucking a bunch of dudes. It might have meant that she met the right dude. And it was like, hey, I'm open minded in this situation, and you're so awesome. So yeah, so we gotta be, just be careful.
I feel like whoever you was dating as the side dude doing this community service must was a cougar or something because you said in the workplace she was
Yeah,
married, and so I'm like, was she a cougar? Like, what's the? I want
yeah,
to
she
hear more
was.
for some strange reason, but at the same time, I'm also scared to hear more.
Now she was a little bit older, you know what I mean? And I do think, to be honest, if we're really thinking about like the whole side dude situation, it typically happens around that age range, right? Even Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, who's not married, was talking about some dude in the age gap between her and him, right? So I feel like women get to an age where they feel more comfortable with a younger brother who has the vim, the vigor, the virality to really give them what they feel like is missing, right? Or to provide that level of excitement to them. And so again, like it's a job that goes just really unsung. But, I feel like, at the end of the day, shout out to all of us who've kept a lot of marriages together. And I just kind of feel like it's important that in this segment, in this conversation, we give those brothers some love.